Okay, I'm gonna be making a tier list for computer science curriculum, like classes. So, if you wanted to hear someone's opinion about this, um, yeah, let's go. So, for some unholy reason, this like tier list maker doesn't let you put in like just text, like you would expect. So, I have a sort of menagerie of images here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I might be. I don't really remember what a lot of these mean, but I think I can probably intuit it. So first one is like this was the like intro programming class, like your like freshman year intro programming like thing. I think what this class taught me was that like I didn't really know what like a for loop or like really anything was before I got to college. So D tier, because it made me feel bad about myself. So next one is going to be here. I have calculus one. Um, in terms of like actual like content, I would say this is like an S. Like this would be up here. But problem with that is it's just like a weed out class. Like it's sort of like a torture chamber for freshman college students where they just kind of throw you into like a gladiator pit to see if like how long you'll last. And like people are just dropping in droves switching to like computer information science because of how like awful this class was. So I think it's gonna go in the big O of ball sack tier. That's how bad it was. Because actually, calculus is cool. Like Newton or whatever, he's cool. But yeah, it was like a cat o' nine tails getting like hitting you in like back for like the whole lecture, every lecture. So calculus two. This one was kind of the same thing where it's like required or whatever, but it was definitely better and still had the same like content. So I'm gonna put it into the C tier. Um, and then Calc three. That at this point, like you were in the major, so and it was also just like cool math stuff. If you don't like math, then it was Calc. If you don't like math, this would definitely also all of these would be in the big O ball sack tier, like hands down. But if you do, I think this goes in the base tier because people that like Calc three, I think they're cool. Next, let's see. We had like what do any of these mean? There was physics. This one straight all the way down to the bottom. Again, like this one was. Another thing about this class was that this was the one where I had like my first interaction with like a physics major, and like that was, I mean, that was like scary. Like that shook me up for a couple days. So yeah, that one's going in the bottom. I had this professor who would always come in with like a Coke Zero, and I took it with one of my roommates. Um, yeah, it was great. We played Minecraft Mobile on our phones a lot of the lectures, so maybe that was my own fault for not doing very well in that class. Next one, let's see. Um, this is like your like data structures class, I guess. This one's going in the UML diagram, like tier, I think. Or actually, no, I don't know. I don't really know where to put this. We're gonna put it in the UML diagram tier because like that's like a solid middle of the road. Um, but it was never really difficult for I think most people. It was just like, oh, okay, here's information about like some obscure like tree that people use in like operating system things or something. Like after you get past like oh, what's a binary search tree and what's depth first and breadth first or whatever. Yeah, it's just like all downhill from there. So actually, maybe we move it to the Linux enthusiasts. Because yeah, after like you get these weird like what are the like B trees and like the ones they use in like like database indexes, and nobody cares about those except like Linux enthusiasts. So that's where that's going. Let's see what's next. Oh, these ones. Okay, that's what that was. There was like these intro engineering classes you took like your first year, at least for my degree, where it was like, hey, here's like you get like little fucking stupid breadboards, and they make you make it's like about like engineering principles. These sucked. These are going in the F tier. These I don't remember anything other than like what a breadboard is, and I learned that again later. So if I don't remember it, it could have been important. F tier, hands down. Let's see. Oh, this is the operating systems class. This one, I mean, it has to go in the Linux tier. This was just like a bunch of like talking about stuff that like it's one of those things where like it might be like useful maybe to like one person ever, and everyone else will just like forget about it the next semester, and it's like all like, oh, what's round robin scheduling? Like nobody cares. Um, and similarly to physics, this was like the first time where I saw like your actual like Linux like power user with like a old like weird laptop like booted with like six distros of some obscure fork of Debian or something. I don't know. I don't know if anything I even just said really makes sense. But that, I mean, that was also probably equally as horrifying as seeing like a physics major. So that's where that's gonna go. That one shook me to my core. Like seeing some guy pull up and just, yeah, with like a MSI laptop, and it like that they're that kind of person when like they pull up to class and they open their MSI laptop and the fans just like start like immediately the fans are just 100% and it's like distracting you the whole lecture. That's definitely going in the Linux tier. I guess this is linear algebra because there's a matrix. This is going in the S tier. This is the first S. The problem with linear algebra is that it's definitely not an S tier class. I just had a good professor, so I guess that's biased. But linear algebra is cool. Actually, no, it's going in the A tier. Sorry, all of you linear algebra super fans, but it's not an S tier class. It was good because I had this dude. He was cool, and linear algebra as an actual like mathematical field is fun, but it's only used in like artificial intelligence, and I mean we'll get to that. That one's weird. So it's going in the A tier. It probably shouldn't be there, but I don't know. That's not my problem. What do we have left? Software engineering, that's going in UML. That was like a class where I think we talked about what a like how to do Scrum for an entire semester, and that was miserable. It was just like, hey, this is what they do in software companies, and there were so many UML diagrams. Like I mean, I was making this. I didn't really think about what tier before, but when I like was downloading the image for Scrum, I knew I was going to make this tier specifically for this class because it was a nightmare. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring the UML, diagram down by the YouTube tutorial tier. Which, speaking of the YouTube tutorial tier, Calc 1 is going up to the YouTube tutorial tier. Because, like I said, it's an S tier like content, but yeah, I don't know. I just figured like I did these whole like thumbnails with the organic chemistry tutor, and I've never watched more YouTube tutorials than in Calc 1 freshman year. So it's going there just for the sake of distribution. Next, like electrical engineering. I don't know how I feel about this. This was fun, but it sent me down. Oh God, what is his name? What is his name? The Mr. Carlson's lab. Oh my God! Like this class. If you haven't watched this guy, go watch all of his videos like right now. Like I think I must have watched dozens and like days, like 48 hours at least, hours of worth of content. I used to fall asleep to Mr. Carlson's lab videos because of this class. Like that's probably the only maybe that isn't like a good, maybe that's not like an actual good like thing, but I don't know. I enjoyed. I subscribed to his Patreon. I don't know. ECE. Um, it's going in the A tier. I like that class. It was fun. Except when we got into like, oh my god, when we got into, like, you started using imaginary numbers. No, that sucked. So whatever. I'll leave it there. Differential equations. That's the base tier for sure. This one. This is like the class after the intro programming. It's like software. I don't know. It's probably called different things like everywhere. But it was just Java, um, like object oriented stuff. So maybe we add a tier. Is gonna be like the object oriented hellscape. So I'm gonna put that there. Um, All right, project. This was a project. I guess I didn't really know what image to pick for this. I just picked this. So, like your project class. I'm gonna put the project classes in the F tier next to engineering, dude. Um, yeah, these ones are a coin toss. You can really get shafted pretty hard if you get, especially if you like you're not there on like the first day when they're picking their the groups or whatever, and then you get like one group. I was not there in class. I had to join by Zoom, and so they just threw everyone in Zoom into one group. And the problem with that is that everyone that had joined on Zoom for like the third day of class was the people that was not going to come to class for the rest of the semester. And that was probably one of the worst experiences of my collegiate career. Um, Computer networking. This one's in the S tier. If that makes you angry, I don't know what to say to you. Throw me in the dungeons, exile me from the city. But networking is cool. Um, it's S tier, and that's final. The next one is going to be, what is this? Oh, this is Foundations of Higher. Like this is a class at the like higher mathematics, like proofs class that I took. I guess I chose this to represent that. This is also going in the S tier. Not because it's useful in any way, right? Like not because you're going to be sitting down for your Scrum meeting and like proving the Banach-Tarski theorem or something. But because I had this professor who had like a really like kind of funny, like it was like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like it wasn't even like an accent. It was an accent, but it wasn't an accent from like a region in the world. It was just like he spoke in like all of his S's. He kind of like slithered like a snake. So, and I took that one online during like the COVID era of time. So that one brought levity to uh, me sitting in a tiny 10 by 10 foot room taking online classes all day. So that one's going in the S tier, and you also feel cool when you prove something. So there you go. Um, some might say haters are going to hate, and that's okay. Next one is computer animation. I think that's this. Computer animation, this one was just a bunch of Unity labs, and Unity kind of like blows ass. It's not a good program, or at least I didn't think it was at the time. I don't know. I think they did like they didn't even have dark mode when I did this class, so maybe I was just an idiot. I don't know. It's gonna go in. It's going in the D tier, and that's final. Okay, we have three left. It is information security. I remember that one. Um, this one was in the basement of like a old ass building, and there was no windows, and it was like early, and I like skipped a lot of the lectures. So C tier, I guess. I don't know. I realized that I'm kind of like ranking these like not even at all based on their content, just based on like the building and professor I had. Whatever, it's C tier. That's final. Um, this is artificial intelligence. I took an intro artificial intelligence class, um, and there was like a lot of linear algebra and probability, and we talked about the Linux enthusiast concentration in a class being like a metric for its survivability, and this one was awful, and everyone in the class had such a hard on for like Chat GPT. The artificial intelligence class is going to go in the Linux enthusiast here. Because while the math was really cool and interesting and it was cool to understand how things work, everyone in that class was maybe on the scale of being insufferable. I wouldn't say they were insufferable because there were cool people in that class, but it was, yeah, it's in the Linux tier. Okay, last one is the capstone. This one, I don't know. Everyone in the capstone doesn't care anymore. It's you're making something, and like it's fun. It's fun to make a project. So base tier. In terms of rearranging the like within the actual ranks, information security. That's going to the D tier. Let's go on low D tier. That class was boring. Okay, I think this is fine. I don't know. Okay, that's it. Okay.